Hello everyone and welcome. I am Clarke Cosplay. Foam is definitely my specialty. My suit right here is the Altera Blade Master armor. That's the helmet. Here's the Glass War Axe from Skyrim, as well as the Nirvana Celestial Weapon from Final Fantasy X. Today I'm going to talk about planning and design of your cosplay. This is the first of the three main stages for making a Warbler or EVA foam cosplay. You'll see that there's a lot involved in the construction of this. It took me about 2.5 months to build. In order to do stuff like this takes a lot of planning and design and research. Why on earth do we do this? You gotta have blueprints. You gotta know what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why you're doing it. This makes your construction a lot easier, quicker, and more enjoyable. If you don't do any planning or research beforehand, you may be going through your construction and stopping a lot of times and figuring out, okay, I've hit a roadblock. This is what I want to do, but I don't know how to do it. This takes care of that. It also helps gain knowledge required to get the outcome that you want. And this isn't just specifically for the cosplay that you're working on or even prop. All this knowledge can be transferred to other things. First part, of course, is your references. Once you've picked out your specific cosplay, you need to find some references in order to build your cosplay off. My Altera Blade Master armor, I could only find 3 references. There were no videos on it. There's nothing except for 3 pictures. There is 2 front and 1 back. So I was very, very limited to what I had. If you're lucky, the absolute best reference is, of course, a moving model. So Gundam conveniently has just tons and tons of different models that you can build, and each piece moves and is very highly detailed. So I can see exactly what I need to do in a 3-dimensional object. After you've got your references, you need to do a lot of research. This is materials, tools, and techniques. What you learn or find out can drastically change how it is designed and built. Definitely research other cosplayers' work. Go onto the web, Facebook, YouTube, anything you can possibly find, and just go to town researching everything you can about the specific thing that you're making. Some cosplayers will be willing to share their information with you. Design pictures, design input. I had trouble figuring out how the legs and the feet work together because the feet are going to have to be on stilts. I asked Uber's Cosplay and he said, hey, this is how you do it, and here's some pictures of the stuff of me building my stuff. Most of my techniques that I've learned on EVA foam smithing is from Evil Ted. Definitely check him out. He's got tutorials online that can show you all the basic techniques to using and making EVA foam. So after that, study each part of your character and think critically how it can be built. The feet, the legs, the body, the helmet, wings if applicable. Even any weapons or props that they may have. If there's video of it, perfect, because then you can see how they move, how they carry it, how they walk in it. You don't want to restrict your ability so much that you have trouble walking in it, or your visibility, so you have trouble seeing in it. If you can't see out of your cosplay, what's the point? Because you can't go anywhere. You're just going to be standing there like a statue, possibly walking over some poor kid or something like that at a convention. Keep that in mind. You don't want to be walking around just like that. See if there's ways to design it where you can move comfortably and easily in it. Then consider how the parts connect. There's definitely different ways: magnets, Velcro, nylon straps, and parachute buckles. How you'll put it on. Something as complex as Gundam, you got to think, okay, am I going to have a seam to the side and it's going to be at the back? How am I basically going to put this thing on? And then how am I going to be able to take it off? Am I going to need 1 or 2 handlers to be able just to put this thing on, or can I put this on by myself? Ventilation is absolutely important with EVA foam. That stuff does not breathe at all, and especially in the summer, it's going to be very hot. You do not want to overheat, get heat stroke. So if there's any places that you can put vents, install fans, definitely do that. Once you've got all that information, you got to redesign your character's proportions. If you look at my Altera Blade Master reference, you'll see he's got massive legs, a moderate torso, huge monkey arms, and a tiny head. Obviously humans aren't built this way, so you have to adjust the proportions of that. Once you've done that, drawing the finished costume. So if you look at my designs that I've been doing for Gundam, This is where you're going to take all that research and information, materials, tools, and techniques and put them down onto paper. Grab a pencil and a paper. You don't have to be an expert artist to do this. Just the whole point is put it on paper so it makes you think even more about how things are going to go together. So then you got to draw the finished costumes. My drawings, this is all my plans for my Gundam. Draw out each piece of your costume. Do the boot, then do the legs, then do an arm, helmet, each and every individual part that you'll need. These are going to be your blueprints that I mentioned in the very beginning. After you've got your whole parts done, you want to find out, okay, this is what I'm going to build, so how am I going to build it? Take the pictures that you drew earlier and then just kind of expand and explode each part. So you've got each little individual piece that you're going to put together. Think of this as kind of a planning of your patterns. The patterns are the things that you need in order to make each and every individual part to put the whole thing back together. After you've done that, it's time to build. When you start building, it is important to consider which part you need to build first. With my Altera Blade Master, I started with the feet and built up. I felt that the feet and the legs were the parts that really kind of set the proportion of the rest of the armor. If you look at Gundam, his head's really small. I'm going to start with the helmet and build down. Definitely important to consider what part of the costume sets your proportion. So that's all that I have for planning and design. I hope you learned a lot today. So thank you very much. My name again is Clarke Cosplay, and I will see you next time.